first EP collab, man. Oakland Vallejo, the Bay Area, stand up. I'm from that town. She from Vallejo. Said let's collab. She said okay. We all should play. Hot potato. Whoever got the hottest vibe first in there. Challenge accepted. It's me. I'm the best. Like creative players on hunters, no less. The lines in your forehead just told me you stressing. Got G-O-D on me side. Ooh, he blessed me. All the lies they tell it's a vaccine. They're acting it's so bad like it's wrestling. Keep my circle so small it's insane. If you made the cut then you're part of my team. Just like bowling at plank off strikes don't cut her. Attracted to the mind but I like mine's hooder. She gotta have a pretty face too.
Good morning to everybody who is around. I am here finally to fucking do my 90-day The Single Life recap. I was supposed to get this done on Tuesday, January 2nd, but I've had a lot happening at work. My job keep getting robbed and shit. There's just a lot going on. So I hadn't been able to get to it, but now I am able to get to it. So hello, those who are retail managers, y'all understand. Y'all understand. As soon as I find a job in my degree field, I won't have to go through this no more because retail really is tiresome. The shit is tiresome. And I hope no one watching this is that customer that goes in asking a stupid fucking question when you see that we're busy. That is all. Anywho, good morning. We're going to go over 90 Day to Single Life Season 4, Episode 1. This is a new show I'm adding to recap. I always watch TLC. I love their reality shows as a whole. I feel like they're different. But I've never recapped anything really from there except for the family Chantel. So I figured, fuck it. Let's keep going. 90 Day to Single Life. I saw, if you watch 90 Day Fiancé, some couples or past couples that were on that show. I was like, oh Lord, this is going to be interesting to see how you date. So I'm excited to get into it. If you have any suggestions, a show that's going to be coming on TV that you'd like me to recap, let me know. I am totally open to that stuff. Also, Beth says, let's fucking go. Good morning, Mrs. Beth. Good morning, husband. Thank you for your participation. He's always supporting me. Marry somebody who's going to support you, even if he's mad at me, annoyed with me, or if I've like burned all of his socks or some shit. I don't do stuff like that, but he always supports me. So I appreciate that. We are going to get into it. The way we're going to do the format for this show in terms of recaps is similar to how I do my Love After Lockup recaps. We will discuss each person and what happened with them through the entirety of the episode, and then we will move it along from there. So we're going to start with Chantel, Miss Chantel J, BSN. She was with Pedro for many years, almost a decade. Their life was so much of a mess that TLC was like, you guys need a fucking spinoff. And basically, her family, combined with Pedro being a little bit of a user, is part of the reason she's single. I mean, Pedro wasted no time. As soon as he got his real estate license, dude disconnected, started cheating, all types of stuff. So, he can say that he loved her. I feel like he loved what she could do for him and the idea of her, but I don't think he ever actually loved her. He was always very like shallow. He's like, oh, she looks good. She looks good. So whenever people are like shallow in their relationships, I need a man that's 6'4", has a job, as she said, washboard abs. Those are the people who usually are single for the longest, because while it's okay to be selective when dating, as my good friend James Jackson likes to say, there is a such thing as being too selective and too picky. And I do see with women a lot, they expect so much from men, but then when you turn the tables to look what they can give, there's not much. I'm not saying Chantel's like that, but it's just something I noticed. But she is excited to go to Greece. That's where she's going to be going to date people. And she has her friends there who we have seen, the hairstylist and the young lady that was with her, the other lady. I've seen them before. The guy, I don't really remember his name, with the ponytail. He's a little bit too extra. I don't really care for that. I know some people are like, wait, no, that's the gays. No, my best friend is gay. Not every person a part of that community is and all extra and stuff. Some of them are just, they just like what they like and they exist, you know. So that I always get annoyed when I see extra shit like that. Like, why? But she says that she would like a Greek man, which is interesting, especially as a Black woman. Chantel, I don't know if you know about Greece and Italy, but they're some of the most racist places that you can visit in the world. But she still says she's going to go out there and get her groove back. So she explains her love story with Pedro, which I'm not going to go over on this channel because I feel like anybody who watches 90 Day to Single Life should kind of have an idea. I'll give a short backstory. She was on 90 Day Fiance years ago. She met Pedro through a friend while she was trying to learn Spanish. They met, fell in love, and basically from the very beginning, his family was disrespectful and problematic, and her family did not trust his intentions because a lot of people do try to come to America, you know, because of the opportunity for a better life compared to their current country. Honestly, 90 Day Fiance as a series is proof that people will scam and scheme to get into this country. So, you know, it is what it is. Basically, Pedro decided he wanted a divorce, as I stated earlier. He got his real estate license and suddenly acted brand new. So they split up. The families were a big reason for their breakup, in my personal opinion. I think more his family than Chantel's. But this is why they say, if you're in a relationship, and one of these recaps, maybe in some of this one, Mr. Best will join us to give some of his like opinions and stuff. But when you're too close to family, that's either going to be your biggest blessing or your biggest curse. You got to love your family. You got to love your people, but you have to put boundaries in place. If not, you'll end up like Pedro and Chantel. That's just how I feel. So we find out Chantel prefers a foreign man, not an American man. And I know some people are like, what the hell? You ain't learned your lesson? I truly think her and Pedro at one point were in love. I do. I just, and I can't say that all foreign men are bad just because she came across one that was bad. I think she should get with the foreign man who's not broke like Pedro, and she'll be a little bit better. That's just how I feel. But she FaceTimes her mom, Miss Karen, and Karen told her, don't you bring home no visa guys. If he needs a visa, don't bring him home. Listen, I'm with Mama Karen. If dude needs a visa, that's fine, but let him figure that out on his own and come to you. Chantel did all the work to get Pedro there, applying for the K-1 visa, helping him with his paperwork, helping him to find work. Like she did, excuse me, she did everything. And I think that when it comes to a relationship, things should be 50-50. As much as she did for him, he should have done for her. But, you know, we have not gotten there yet. Apologies, y'all. I am obsessed with tea. It's colder this morning, so I was like, let me get some tea. I'm half asleep. I like just woke up, start cooking ribs, and then I was like, let me do a recap. That just sounded like the blackest thing I could have said. Like, oh, I'm up and I'm cooking ribs. Anywho, basically, Chantel gets mad at her mama when her mama brings up the truth, which people close to family love to get mad at their family and friends for telling them the truth. She says she has no tolerance for her mom. You should have had that tolerance when you were married, and you might still be married. Just saying, Chantel. So fast forward, we see her go out with her little divorce support crew, which I thought was sweet of her friends. But in my opinion, her friends are helping her to find some dick, but they're not helping her to find a husband. Just saying. 6 months is also really, really early. Hello, Mr. Best. He's all in our frame, all blurred out. Can you turn off the heater when you can? Because I'm hot as hell. Anywho, like I stated, we are just now waking up. So you will see my spouse in the background making cereal. I'm not going to limit him to my own house just so you people can watch me online. Anywho, she basically goes out to this club, and Greece is, I think, a good place for celebrities to be. I know Lindsay Lohan and some others like move there because there are laws with tabloids and taking pictures of people. They seem to respect people's boundaries. So might be a good place considering Chantel's had Drake and some other people in her DMs. But she goes out. She's got this scant dress, which I thought the dress was really cute, personally. It's just being married. That's not something I'd wear without my husband. Also, I would need like something because she didn't have on no underwear, she said. And she was just on the back of people's motorcycles and all of that. And I'm just like, ladies, that's how things like BV, pH balance being off, smells, strange discharges, things like that. If you got a coochie, you know. That's what things like that occur. So the dress was cute, but I was just like, girl, in a dress with no panties, I promise you will not be pulling a husband. You gonna find some dick though, but you're not gonna. Just say sorry. Y'all can feel how you feel, but I think it's interesting that people who are unmarried and who have never, been married or even close have the biggest opinion. No, you don't got to do that to find a man, and that's why you don't have one. I just think it's always good to take advice when you're married from people who are also married. It makes a difference, I'm convinced. Anywho, she has her dresses. She meets a couple dudes. She goes and gets their numbers. Her friends were like, you need to get 5 numbers for the night. But shut up, JoJo. I just don't understand why she has to get 5 numbers for the night. Before I met my husband, my friends did that because they had like little boyfriends. One of them became her baby daddy, all this other stuff. My friends were like, you got to be with them. We all need to be together, this and that, that and that. None of those bitches are with those dudes anymore. And yeah, you don't have to give 5 numbers for the night. And maybe you got to date, I don't have to do a motherfucking thing. So Chantel, I feel like you need to take that attitude, but she didn't. She did work to get 5 numbers. She got quite a few numbers. But the guy she got them from, like one of them was 20. Chantel is my age. She's 32. So why are we dating a 20-year-old? I had a friend date a 24-year-old at 31, and I genuinely was ready to commit that bitch to the psych ward. Like, what are you doing? And he gave her 24-year-old problems that 30-year-olds were just like past that shit. So, she had her little fun. She got a kiss, put her tongue down somebody's throat. She did what she did. I don't know. I was expecting like more from Chantel, but Chantel just proves that what I've always thought. Her in-laws and her family are more interesting than her a little bit. But I am rooting for her to find like somebody and to get back out there. She's a beautiful girl. So she really doesn't need to go to Greece or to leave the country to find a man. She had a lot of contenders here in America, but I feel like she's doing this for the show, not because she actually wants to find love. She does start crying because she goes on a joyride with this guy through Greece, makes out with him, and it reminds her of Pedro. I'm just like, girl, please. This is 90 Day to Single Life. You're single. I don't want to keep hearing about Pedro. I really don't. But we'll see what Chantel does. I'm hoping she finds something real, but I don't think she's going to find it on the show. She seems like a person they put on the show because her series just ended. She's single. They could have put Pedro or somebody on here also. I don't know what they're doing, but we just gonna leave it be. Also, best go comment. She ain't got no panties on. She ain't got no panties on. She just openly admitted that. I think that's the funniest thing in the world. But shout out to Chantel. I love how her friends support her, the divorce support crew. I think that is everything that friendship should be. So good for her. Very, very good for her. I think it's interesting and telling too that Chantel has friends from the 2nd grade. She done made friends with her hairstylist. She's got friends and people that are really on her side. Meanwhile, Pedro, anybody he was ever close to, seems to not want to deal with him, want to betray him. Says something about character. That's all I'm saying. Anywho, moving on, we're going to get to the next person, Natalie. She was on 90 Day Fiancé. She was with Michael. And I didn't keep watching. I guess then she ended up with Josh and she's still legally married to Michael. There's a lot going on. Natalie is the hot mess express. The hot mess Ukrainian express is what she is. Beautiful lady, but it makes sense why she's single at 40 something. It makes sense. Her dating life is a hot mess. The hot mess express, the choo-choo train is a hollering. That's how bad she dates. So Natalie's from the Ukraine. For those who aren't sure, don't watch 90 Day Fiancé. She was with an American man named Michael, and they got together, and then she left him. And in my opinion, she seems dramatic and problematic, and she was forced, well, not forced. She put herself in a position where she left Michael. They didn't fully get divorced or break up. She went to date Josh. Josh is in California. He works too much, which honestly, if you're in California and you're financially stable, you're probably working too much. It's just a thing. Like, my husband works crazy hours, but we have everything we need. Apartment, we don't live with our parents, you know, food, clothing, we have everything that we need, you know, but that's because we work too damn hard. They working us to the bone here in California. It's just a fact. But she basically sees her mom after explaining like her little relationship things. Right now she's single and, you know, she's focusing on seeing her mom. She hasn't seen her mom in years due to COVID, and prayers to everybody in the Ukraine. You know, they are dealing with their situation. There was a war and all of that stuff over there. I know there's stuff happening all over the world, but I can't imagine living in a war zone. I think regardless of how Ukrainian people have been towards some African Americans, yes, I'm calling that shit out. It just doesn't compare to having to live in a war zone. So prayers to everybody there. And I hope that anybody from there who has family, at the very least, knows where your family is able to contact them, things of that nature. But her mom is here. It's the first time she's seen her mom in 2.5 years. So it's very emotional for her. She goes and picks her mom up from the airport, and her mom is coming to stay with her, which I think is really, really nice. So we find out when her mom comes that Natalie has the intention to go to California. This is very important. She says that California is her dream. This is her place to come. She said, Hollywood's not ready for us. Listen, we don't want you. I'm from California, born and raised. Let's go Bay Area. Let's go Oakland. Shout out the town, nigga. However, we don't want you. I'm tired of fucking people moving to California, specifically the Bay Area and or Los Angeles and their metropolitan areas. And y'all move here like, oh, I'm going to have a dream. I'm going to have a dream. And then you end up like fucking Natalie, homeless, taking resources from people who are born and raised here, who are priced out by people like you who fucking move here. Stop. I know it's a part of the cycle of gentrification, but you can't move to a place that you've never been before, expect people to feel sorry for you, take up resources and fucking space, and all because your gold digging ass wants to find somebody who's going to take care of you. Women like Natalie annoy me because instead of getting out and doing shit for themselves, they expect a man to do it. And I don't like that. Yes, to some extent, you use your looks to get shit, but you know you don't like this man, yet you're going to move and leave your stability with your mommy, your older mom. This lady just got the hell out of Ukraine. Now you got her moving all over the United States of America, so that you can follow after a man that you're hoping to pay for everything. This girl is not slick. I don't like it. So she thinks in her mind that Josh is going to help her find somewhere to live in California, but she says they have trust issues. Maybe the trust issues are because you're expecting him to do shit that men don't usually do for people or women until they've been with them for years or had a child with them or, you know, things of that nature. I just feel like she needs to handle her own move to California. Like if your dude's helping you by like, I can recommend you for this job, fine. Or, you know, I can bring you groceries for the week so that you don't have to pay for this while you figure your stuff out, fine. But she wants this man, Josh, to help her get an apartment, and she wants him to help her get a job, and she wants him to help her find a car, and she wants him to help take care of her and her mama. No, you're not that cute, sis. It's not worth it. It just doesn't make any sense. So when they get to California, her mom has concerns, and her mom says, I'd rather if it were Michael, because Michael, at the very least, you know, there was love there. This guy is just some nigga that she was dating, her side piece, that ended up turning into something more. So when she arrives to California at the airport, Josh is not there to pick them up. They have all these bags and stuff. And they're like, oh, I have to pick up my bags. What would you do if you were single? You'd have to pick up your bags. So pick up your fucking bags. That's how I feel. Like, I have a husband, though, so I'm not going to lie. At the airport, I will politely stand to the side and let his ass carry things. I mean, honestly, we did this yesterday with groceries and stuff. Like, you carry what you carry in, Mr. Best. I'm going to do what I can. Like, no. But that's different. I have a husband. I've put in 14 years to this shit. This chick, Natalie, has put nothing into this and wants, like, princess wife treatment from this man. And she wants his money. I just cannot with her. So her mom's upset that Josh doesn't meet them, excuse me, at the airport. And her mom's reservations are understandable. It's interesting because Natalie preps to see Josh the day after. Mind you, they end up going from the airport without his help to a hotel. They are in a little motel to live. That's how they came to California. This is the most expensive state, or the third most expensive state in the country. Hawaii is first, then New York, then California. It doesn't make sense that you moved here not prepared at all. I mean, not even with a job interview set up. We don't want you. We don't want a 40-year-old Ukrainian star. We just don't. We want a 40-year-old Ukrainian woman that intends to be a citizen and contribute to the economy, but doesn't look like Natalie's going to do that shit at all. So she goes to see Josh, and we find out from Josh when they see each other, he's like, I want to take things slow. But I'm like, how do you want to take things slow, but you have this woman moving to LA? Like, she claims she's in LA for Josh, but we know she's in LA because it's her dream wedding, or not dream wedding. It's her dream city. She explained it. And she probably has these stupid goals in her head that Hollywood is like it was back in the day where you could move here and just make it. It's not like that, honey. You'd be better off moving to Atlanta. It's not like that anymore in California. It's just not like that. So it's interesting to see her expectation. But Josh wants to take things slow. I feel like you should have told her that before she moved to Los Angeles, Josh. I'm not even going to lie to you. And when they kiss, like her and Josh are like interacting, it's awkward as fuck. I feel like they like have good sex or something, and that's about it. Or in his mind, it's good sex because she's a beautiful woman. So I feel like it's that, but there's no chemistry or connection between the two. The kiss was awkward through the TV, so I know it was worse in person. So while on their date, because he takes her to go roller skating, and I thought it was cute. She's like, in Ukraine, we have cold and snow, so we ice skate. We don't have roller skate. I thought that was too cute. Like, yes, honey, we roller skate. That's an American thing. Americans love to roller skate. We just do. I don't know why. But she asked for help while on the date with finding a job. And then when she goes to ask about housing, she starts freaking out. Listen, I don't know how it is in other states. I'm pretty sure it's similar. But in California, if you want a 1-bedroom apartment, right? I live in the Bay Area. So a 1-bedroom apartment in the Bay Area that's cheap is about $1,700. And that's if you can find that. And then they like to do well, where's your credit score? If your credit score is this, your rent is this. If your credit score is this, your rent is that. And we need an additional deposit type of deal. So this is why I try to keep up with my credit, y'all, because I ain't got time. It's interesting that she wants an apartment. You have to prove that you make 3 times the rent. You have to prove that you're the person living there. You cannot sublease here. There's all sorts of little rules and stuff to renting. So and it takes time. It takes time. Like the apartment I'm in now, it took us, how long did it take to get in this apartment? It's the same landlord. This is like the second apartment we've rented with him. But to get into the first apartment with him ever, it took maybe like a month. Like we couldn't just get in. Like sometimes it could take a little bit to get keys. And I think that's the same everywhere. So you can't move to California and expect to just have and get into an apartment next week. It's going to take about a week for them to run credit and all of that. So it's interesting. But she freaks out over needing housing on Josh, on the date. And to me, I was like, well, the moment she asked about him helping her find a job, the relationship and the date just seemed transactional. So you want him to help you find work, pay for shit, and you want him to be taking you on dates. It feels transactional. We will see more with her. She freaks out because she needs housing. Natalie, you shouldn't have moved. Listen, you're trying to cash a check and there ain't no funds in the account, girl. You shouldn't have moved. You cannot blame Josh. You cannot blame your mother. You cannot blame America. The only person to blame is you. You should not have moved with nothing. You have nothing saved. You have nothing going on. You have no job for yourself. You shouldn't have moved. But luckily you moved to Southern California. I bet you could find a job as a waitress or a receptionist somewhere because there's lots of that in Southern California. Fun fact, it's probably easier to find a job like in the Bay or in Central California in Sacramento or something than it is in LA. LA is just like hostess, restaurant, serving. Like, because there's so many events and things down there. So you really got to have like a degree if you don't want to work in, nothing fields. But we'll see what happens with Natalie. I was just looking at her kind of like, girl, you're hella irresponsible. And then like how irresponsible and wishy-washy she is with her dating life. You could tell that that's really just how she is with everything she does. And that's a concern. That's a concern. That is a fucking concern. And that is probably why she's in this country on that K-1 visa versus being in this country because she tried to come here on her own. Because I don't think she had the smarts or the spunk to do it. I just don't. Natalie, you could tell she's gotten by her whole life on looks. I don't feel like there's anything special or smart about her. And I would love to be proved wrong. So we will keep watching to see if that opinion changes when we get to the finale of this season. So moving on to the next person. If you are watching the video or the live replay, I encourage you to like the video. It's an easy and free way to support my channel. I appreciate you. The next person we're going to go over is Tyree. Tyree is just a sweet teddy bear. He was on 90 Day Fiance. We learn a lot. He has dated nobody. He has no experience, like not even with a kiss, not even with some smooth talk. He has zero experience, zero, when it comes to dating. Online dating is a godsend, but at the same time, it's also the very thing that can, like, for those who are shyer, I think it provides a shield for them to hide behind. And that's not something that is always good. The nicest people, listen, you need some type of game. So he went to high school at his prom with his cousin. And I'm like, oh shit, that is something. He's not too far from me either. He's about like an hour and a half drive away, Modesto. A lot of people who live in Modesto, Stockton, Tracy, a lot of people who live in the Valley, they end up commuting to the Bay Area because they want the cheap rent in the Valley, but they gotta, so I'm wondering if he does that. But either way, he seems like a nice guy. He says his weight, because he is heavier, has negatively impacted his self-esteem. That tells me as a psychology major, maybe you're struggling with emotional eating and there's something else underlying that you need to get to. And I encourage you to get to therapy, Tyree, because weight negatively impacting your self-esteem means that you're allowing that to happen. And most people want to feel better about themselves. And you should be proactive about that. If you're not, you might need a little help or someone to talk to help you get to where you need to get to do that. So he basically says that he's never had a date. I am reading, and he's never had a kiss, and he is a virgin, and he is 33 years old. Listen, I ain't no hoe, but I'm going to tell you this. I can't imagine being a virgin at my age. Tyree, fucking Chantel, we're all the same age, 31, 32, 33. Listen, especially my generation, us 90s kids, we grew up at a time with, like, first of all, our parents were the kids of crackheads. Then we come up at a time where everything is, people don't know if they want to be woke or if they still want to be stuck in. But we went through a lot. I don't understand how I can't imagine not having no dick at 33. That's sad. That's sad. Like, it doesn't have to be regular. If it was for religious reasons, like, I would get that. Like, religious reasons, like, okay, I respect that. That's something that you're choosing to do, is sacrifice or whatever for God. But he doesn't have any of that. He just ain't had no kiss, no date, no head, no coochie, no nothing. 33 years of life. I wonder if he's like seen a woman naked. I really do. I don't think we should make fun of him for that, because honestly, a lot of you niggas could go without having some sex here and there. A lot of y'all is spreading diseases around and spreading problems and heartbreak. So I'm not mad at him. At least he values what he does. But that's really sad. That's really, really sad that your self-esteem and your weight has impacted you this much. Listen, I dated a big dude right before I dated Mr. Best. Like, ain't nothing wrong with it. You got to go for it to know when to get denied. It sounds like he can't even get to a point of going for it to get denied. And he says that he's afraid of the fear of rejection. God bless his heart. So I'm cracking up because the camera, he says, they ask him how he imagines sex to be. He said he imagines sex to be loud. He said lots of screaming and moaning. I said, Well, listen, player. And he said that it should last for about 4 hours. I said, oh my God, he really is a virgin. Bro. So like, I'm not going to be the teacher of sex, but there are quickies. Quickies are usually like maybe under 7 minutes. There are, regular sex sessions in my life. They're about 25 to 30 minutes. And then there are times what Mr. Best calls, we finna have sessions, and you're having sex on and off for hours. No one is just, going at it without stopping for 4 hours. Tyree, that's going to impact your self-esteem too if you think that you're supposed to be able to do that for 4 hours. I think his expectations are high and unrealistic with sex. Like, let's call it what it is. You niggas be talking about, oh, I'm putting it down, I'm doing all of this, and from what my friends who are single tell me, I'm like, are not doing that. Anywho, he says he wants to have sex once he falls in love, which I think is something that's beautiful. And then we find out about his past dating history on 90 Day Fiance. Now, he fell in love with a woman who he thought was from Barbados. And in 2021, right after COVID too, risking your health, he went to Barbados, and the woman never showed up. This is where they played a clip, and we see that he found out that he was catfished and that the woman he thought he was talking to the entire time was a man. I love the show Catfish. Shout out to Neve and Cam. Shout out to them. But I think that's such a fucked up thing to do to somebody, to pretend to. I don't get it. I feel like catfishing should be illegal or some shit. Like, I don't get it. And I think it's a cruel and unusual thing to do to anybody. So his dream woman is Hillary Clinton. I don't know how the hell we got there, but his dream woman is Hillary Clinton, which concerns me. I was like, well, maybe that's why homeboy is single for a little bit. And we see him go out to eat with his childhood friend, which was weird. I find it interesting that the people who haven't had sex, can't find a girlfriend, don't have game, they always have a female best friend. And I look at the female best friend and I'm like, why are you not guiding him? I had a male best friend in high school. Shout out to the master. Love him to death still to this day. Had no game, like zero game. I found out years later from family and friends and stuff like, oh, he was in love with you and just never knew how to say anything. Look, you snooze, you lose, Negro. That's how I feel. But as a female friend, like I considered him one of my best friends. I would talk to him, help him to know how to get females. And eventually he started pulling bitches, getting girlfriends, all of that. Like, I don't want you, but I want somebody to want you. And if you lack game and you're a female friend, you should tell your friend, why did it take him coming on this show? So he's asking his friend for advice, and he definitely struggled, and you could tell he's awkward when talking to women. I think his friend should have told him, like, just talk to her, just get into it. Sometimes let a girl know, like, I can be awkward, things like that. Like, that's okay, but just be yourself. So he's excited to go out with his cousin. His cousin's having a birthday party, and there's a woman at this party that Tyree is interested in named Tiffany. He is terrified for his fear of rejection, as we stated before, but he wants to ask Tiffany out on a date. Now, I see them at the event, and I'm like, I think that's a piece of it too. There are a lot of women in his life who it looked like just loved and coddled him, and he probably didn't need nothing more from other people, and made him feel safe. But he likes this Tiffany girl. I see Tiffany, and she is blushing, and she likes him. You could tell she likes him. She's giggling, excited that he talks to her. Like, they actually like each other, and I'm here for it. I thought it was the sweetest thing, because that's usually when something is real or gonna last, like the shyness. Now, he goes to say hello to Tiffany. He just giggles. He just kept giggling. I was like, oh my Lanta, this man is a giggler. He's just giggling. But she eventually comes and talks to him and breaks the ice for him. She's like, he's shy, but I like him. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. So she gives him an opening and, to ask her out. And he's like acting like he didn't get it. But eventually he asked her out. She had to clarify, yes, I want to go on a date. I just don't want to go out. He's friend zoning himself. How you gonna ask somebody out and be like, so are we going on a date or are we just going out? Why would you offer that to yourself? Have some game. Would you like to go on a date with me? Oh, you would? Cool. Oh, you don't? Then we ain't going nowhere, bitch. That's how it should be, Tyree. You are in Modesto, Tyree. If you come across Mrs. Best Reviews, I am available. I think you're a catch. I think you're handsome. And I don't think that your weight stops you from being beautiful or attractive or giving you something to offer women. I don't know how you're going to get past, especially girls in the Bay Area, in the Valley. If you know, you know. If you've dated a girl from here, like, we are not shy when it comes to sex. I imagine it would be difficult for him to find a woman who is also a virgin. But, like, you looking for love, Tyree. You looking for somebody you want to be with. Keep it real. I'm a virgin. I don't want to fuck till I'm in love. Is that something you're going to be cool with? And then if they say yes or no, you know, move accordingly as that. But I want to help him so bad. Hit me up, Tyree. I don't want you. I've been with my nigga now. Ooh, as of next week, I will have been with Mr. Best for 15 years. That's craziness. But there's like little things he needs help with.
Get on our level.
Like, there's no reason. Like, when Mr. Best asked me on a date, because we met online. When he asked me on a date, he's like, oh, you gonna come by? So you just coming by, or it's a date. He didn't do that. He's like, all right, we gonna have a date and it's gonna be this. Like, women, to some extent, you still have to lead, acknowledge what we want, but don't give us room, you know, to ask a huge question. Don't leave a question mark. If you want to take the bitch on a date, you say, I'd like to take you on a date. And either the hoe gonna say yes or no. But it looks like this girl, Tiffany, really likes him, and she better not hurt him either, because he seems so sweet. Some people just seem like quality people. I like that he learned from his mistake too. He said, I was catfished. I'm done with online. He said, I need to date in person. He feels insecure about his weight. So he joined a fitness support group. He seems to be one of those people who are proactive about changing things that he feels needs to change in his life. And that is sexy, big, small, or whatever. So good for you, Tyree. I hope that you find love and that you find a flower, AKA, you know, the flower is the, you know, thing, the passage of life, AKA vagina. I hope that he finds love and doesn't get played. I know out here in California, it is rough with dating. You're either going to meet somebody really, really good or really, really bad. But I hope he meets somebody really, really good. And I wish the best for him. And I'm going to need him to stop talking to us about him being a 33-year-old virgin. I'm going to need you to stop saying that. I'm going to need you to stop saying that. I am. I know he's a virgin, but I can't keep hearing that. I can't keep hearing that. I'm pretty sure women don't want to keep hearing that. You know, it's already hard enough to find good dick. Like, then you hear somebody's a virgin. It's like, oh, shit. Whoa. You know, but the right person will be patient. Maybe Tiffany's the right person. So I'm interested to see what happens with him. Now, the last person we're going to go over is our most eccentric human on this show. 67-year-old Debbie. Debbie dated Osama. I don't know why Debbie thought that Osama would want her, but she did. I feel like that was obvious that he didn't want her. I actually think Debbie's beautiful for her age and all of that. I love her long flowing locks. She seems cool. She's got a lot of youth to her spirit. I like Debbie, right? She's eccentric, but I like Debbie. I just wish Debbie would go on, like, what is it? eHarmony. You know, the websites for dating. I don't know what people are using now. I have friends that use Facebook dating. I wouldn't trust Facebook for that shit. But, you know, that's them. But I know that on all of these dating profiles online, you can set the age that you're interested in. I actually did that, and that's how I found my husband years ago. My friends were like, go on this website called Tagged. And Tagged, don't be afraid to hit me up if you want a partnership or something, because we are your living success story, okay? 15 years later, we're together, legally married, and nobody has stabbed each other, okay? Nobody has gone to jail because of a fight together or nothing like that. Like, Tagged, y'all need to hit us up, tag.com. That's where I met Mr. Best. Now I think it's a site for sneaky links and threesomes. But back in 2009, when I met my husband, it was kind of like Facebook dating or Match.com, Black People Meet, that type of stuff. So that was the first and original swipe left, swipe right type shit. So I'm just like, you can find love on the internet. I did, and I didn't even want to be there though. My friends forced me. They literally forced me. Like they took it and made a profile, took pictures of me they had and uploaded it. And fun story, one of my friends was the one that actually swiped right to Mr. Best to make it to where we were a meet me match. Like it wasn't even me who swiped. So oh my God, did that work out? He's in the background like, wait a minute, bitch. You just won't be? No, Leona is the one who swiped to choose Mr. Best for me. She's like, look at this guy. He's got that hood edge you like. Look at his glasses. That's all you. I said, oh, Lord, a mess. You can't find love on the internet. You just got to filter shit correctly. And Debbie needs to do that. So she's eccentric as fuck. We see her with, I believe those are alpacas. Why was this lady talking to those alpacas, trying to kiss them? Listen, keep your mouth to yourself. Don't put your mouth on no farm animals, Debbie. Don't do that. If you want to find a man, please don't do that. Now, I don't know, maybe 67-year-old men want to touch and kiss a mouth that is also kissed an alpaca. But I don't know. Debbie seems cool as hell. She kept hugging them damn alpacas too, and they just did not care. All they wanted was the grass and the hay to eat. I love the way they chew though. I love it. I love it. I'm an animal lover though. Huge animal lover. Worked as a vet tech, managed a pet store for years. I love creatures, but I'm not putting my mouth to no animal's mouth. Listen, fuck that. Anywho, so she speaks about Osama, who was the 24-year-old from Morocco who she dated. And we basically see that he was like, you're going to bring me to America or we're just going to end it. And I kind of respect him for just keeping it real instead of pulling like a Pedro and what Pedro did to Chantel. He's like, listen, bitch, I don't want you like that. I'm just trying to get to America. What's up? And she was like, oh, this is not for me. She says that she missed the signals with Osama. And she says since then, it was so funny because she's showing us text messages and, she's older. She's 67. And I'm cracking up because she's like, look, Osama, he has been texting me nonstop. I said, oh, auntie, he blowing up your phone. He blowing up your phone. He's been exposed. And he knows that she is probably the only one who's willing to let him into this country. Because a lot of people watch 90 Day Fiance. And if you don't, you can Google him if you end up talking to him and be like, oh, hell no. You tried to play Debbie? You tried to play Debbie? Y'all know I like Debbie. I like Debbie. She's so eccentric. She's one of the people that got me like stuck on 90 Day Fiance too. She did. Chantel's season did. There's another, I can't remember their name, but it was this guy who lived with his mom and it was like a problem for his fiance. I can't remember the name. It was awkward as hell. The dude has an OnlyFans now. 90 Day Fiance is a great show. I encourage everybody to watch it. And if I get enough views on this, I will happily recap the newer seasons. I just have been a little reluctant to because I don't know where I fit in. Because, 90 Day Fiance has their pillow talk. They got the people on the show that recap it. Then they had the creators. So I'm like, I'm just a little creator. Where do I fit in on that? But I love the show and enjoy it. And I will happily, recap and look into it. So basically, to get back on track with Debbie, she's selling us all these text messages. I said, Debbie, you got kids, right? And you got some younger friends. If y'all don't stop doing her a disservice, teach her how to block him. She has an iPhone. Debbie, all you got to do is click the name of the contact or the phone number, the little arrow. Once you're there, there's going to be a bunch of stuff to pop up. Scroll to the bottom and hit block. That's all you have to do, Debbie. Fuck Osama. We don't want him. So basically, she goes dancing and we see the guy flirt with a different woman. I think it's hard for someone her age to find someone. A lot of people at that age are either already settled or unfortunately their spouses are gone and, they not. There's just a lot. I feel like she needs to be on a dating app or in places where she's with people a certain age. But it will be interesting to see what happens with Debbie. But that was the first episode of 90 Day the Single Life, season 4, episode 1. Chantel gets her groove back was the title of the episode. That is my recap and review of it. It was interesting. I liked everyone's storylines. The only storyline I was not invested in and this is the reason I'm recapping the show, because I recapped the family Chantel, was Chantel. It didn't seem genuine. It seemed very fake, and it was off-putting to me. I want Chantel to find love. Hell, I want Pedro to find love, but it just didn't seem sincere in how she was trying to do it. I want her to be less extra and focus on being a little more real on camera. And I think that we will be wonderful once we go from there. But that is my recap of the episode. The next recap that I will have will also be today. I'm not sure at what time. I still have to watch the episode, but we will be going over life after lockup. That should be interesting as hell, considering, you know, there's just a lot with that show in general, y'all. But we will be going over the latest episode of Life After Lockup. I hope that everybody tunes in and all of that. And then we will also be having a song review later tonight as well. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. Go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm talking about. And I appreciate all of you, every last one of you. So we're going to end our live watching a music video from Also Best, who has a music video to drop, I believe, tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's tomorrow, right, JoJo? He's taking forever to answer my fucking question. But when does your video drop?
Later today.
Today? Oh, well, he has a music video that's coming out today. It will be another video that was shot and directed by Not So Cool Films, who's very talented. We support him here at B3ST. As you know, I do song reviews and I also do recaps. It's a review channel, but we love music. Music saved my life. Music brings us peace. So we always play music. Please go stream my spouse's music. Give it a try. If you like it, yay. If you don't, we thank you for trying to listen to his music. He will have a song titled Flood that's already out from his Tenderly Manifested EP with another artist and friend, Be Manifested. That is already out, but the video will air later today. I will be doing a personal reaction to this video, so you guys will be able to watch it and get my opinion on it. I hope that everybody enjoyed the recap, and now we shall enjoy some Also Best. We'll watch an older song. We are going to watch a previous video shot by Not So Cool Films titled Head Trip, which, if you're from the Bay, is a fabulous song. So let's give a listen.
Well, I'm from the Bay Area, man. Well, I come from East Side, yo, swinging. You got to be real tight, high performance. It's a hedge. We giggle, just glide. No, they would only pimps nigga. I ain't never tried. Put to the side. Don't tell when I swing, I just mind. It's a hedge. When we giggle, just glide. No, they would only pimps nigga. I stop trying. Put to the side. Don't tell when I swing, I just mind. It's a hedge. It's a head trip. It's a head trip. It's a head trip. Oh my God. You get excited. I look like 4th of July. It's a head swing. Try that to Helen somewhere. It's a head trip. You call it Helen number. We gon' turn up. Yeah, Helen number. We lit a 5 day going down to the function plus 100. The shit they doing now in the pack, we been done it. They gave us to be talking, but they mean because they love it. The pay been killing it. Was paid on the dummy. Don't even send the interview if I can't smoke my weed. Talk my shit, but drinks I heat. Pull up, hella dip with all my team. Fly out them just like turf. We gon' swing on them to thy left. We gon' swing on them to thy right. Hop out, and get one time, can't stop or ride. We gon' swing on them to thy left. We gon' swing on them to thy right. Hop out, and get. It's giving Bay Area vibes. It's a hedge. When we giggle, just glide. No, it only comes near. I ain't never tried. Put to the side. No time when I swing, I just mind. It's a hedge. When we giggle, just glide. No, it only comes near. I stop trying. Put to the side. No time when I swing, I just mind. Shot up to the turf things and I pay with earthing. Move me like Xerxes, stand out for you earthling. Now, hype thing ain't there, it's a lot. It's prepared, it's a lot. We won't fall till hung out, can't steal it, bye-bye. Smash on the gas for a play. Whip your low when Curry makes the lay. Take praise in the air for a hype. Cold come from thy west to Malaysia.
Got proposal to walk, I said, don't they hate it? It's okay, they can do it. See, they mad, believe haters on that elephant. Hit my name, keep them tension. I have no tension. Once you keep it hella lit, I'm a big pedestrian, don't you know this? If you ain't down with the culture, you can move the hell away. We ain't mad, we're just letting y'all know this. It's a hitch, it's a hitch. When we get, we just glide. No, they would only pimps in your eyes. Put to these sides. Don't tell when I swing, I just mind. It's a hitch, it's a hitch. When we get, we just glide. No, they would only pimps in your eyes. Stop trying, stop trying. Put to these sides. Don't tell when I swing, I just mind. It's a hitch trip. 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 Oh my God, you get excited, I look like 4th of July. It's a hit swing, swing, swing. It's a hit swing, swing, swing. It's a hit swing, swing, swing. And we gon' turn up and all we lit outside. Yeah.
Yeah. That's your debut, man. That's your pimp. That's a pimp debut, man. When you come through in your car, man. Your car is everything, man. Your car is the thing, man. Come check out some of these whips, man. Yay area style.
Yeah. Swing, 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 swing.